Hello everyone, welcome to video 3 of this video series. Today we'll be working on Tinkercad, and this will be based off of what we learned last time. So in this video we'll be talking about how to make gears in Tinkercad, and yeah. Gears may be useful since you might want to make mechanical parts that require gears, and they don't really take that long to do. So to start off, we would have a cylinder. So on the side from basic shapes, just drag a cylinder to your work plane. Remember the controls are right click is to move the plane in different directions. Shift right click is to move the plane around. Up here there are different places that they can automatically adjust to. So, but for now we'll be using this one back there. So to start off, we won't be changing the dimensions for this one except for the height. So we can lower down the height to around 15 millimeters. So then you can drag a second cylinder, or, which is a lot easier, you can highlight this and then press Control D. Control D will duplicate this, as you can see here. We'll be able to duplicate it, so it's a lot easier, so you don't have to adjust anything. So the height should be the same, but now we have to make the gear sides. So for this one, I'll make it really small. So it should be like at I made mine at 8 by, I believe, 8. I made mine at 8 by 6 or 8 by 4, but you can make yours as much as whatever you want. Actually, I think this should be let's see, 8 by 2 because it is a gear. Or let's just go by 8 by 3 for now. So that's mine. And then as we taught before, you can Control D and that duplicates it. Then you can move this to the other side. Really easy. There you go. So that's one section of the gear done. Now what you need to do is click on one of these gear side thingies and then press Shift and then click on the other one. This will be able to highlight both of them and not highlight the middle cylinder. Then to duplicate this, we do Control D. And then with this one, you just adjust this. So I'm gonna adjust it around at the 20 negative 22.5 mark. And then here, from here on, you don't have to adjust every single one. You can just press Control D, and Tinkercad will automatically adjust it to the exact degrees. So this would be somewhat of your gear, and then you just press Group up here. It might take a while to load. But this will become your gear. Of course, this doesn't look as good, so I'm gonna go fix this a bit. So by fixing this, you can do Control Z to go back, and then what I'm gonna fix is how much out this was extended by, so we can do something like that, so it looks a lot more natural. Control D, and then drag this to the other side. Alright, and then do the same thing, shift click both of these, press D, and then angle it to the angle that you want. In this case, I'll be using 22.5. As I taught you before, if you were to extend your cursor out by a lot, you're able to adjust it by degrees. But in order to get 22.5, you have to adjust it to just like this little section. So you have to be more close. So the closer you are to the center, the more it snaps into, and the further you are, it doesn't snap to anything. So I want to snap to 22.5. So yeah, and then now that we know the degrees, we can press Control D, and I'll just keep on going. Then you can group this by up here or Control G. And then I guess this looks somewhat of a gear. I want to make this a bit shorter. And then now it's all done. Now you're able to adjust this by itself. To adjust this to a specific millimeter, just press Tab and then just type in your specific millimeter. So I'm going to type in 10 and Tab again to switch the other one. That would be this gear. Now, if you want to make like a piece, so like if it was to connect as an actual gear system, we can just duplicate it and then zoom in. We can rotate this by a bit, and then we can like move it in. So here you might see some like snapping things that might not work. You would have to turn off snap to grid on the side. So again, it should be on your bottom right hand corner. So then you'll have a snap to grid. The default is up to 1 mm, but as you can see, it would like cause some problems in the confliction. So you can just like turn that off. Then now there should not be any. Yep, there should not be any snaps. Now you can freely adjust this. So something like this should look like something like this. So like if these two gears are actually gonna work, and like if you want to make this a bit more realistic, we can make one gear a bit smaller than the other. In this case, we can make this 8. We can make this 8. So that'd be their size, and then we can just change it by a bit. So something like this may work. Of course, it won't be like directly touching, because if it did, it wouldn't really look weird. It would look really weird if one half of the gear was inside the other gear. And then during the 3D print, it will just think this and this are an entire whole instead of actually being separated, so it can actually move as a gear. So that's how you make a gear in this. There are many other things that you can do, such as anything here, like a pyramid. You can make a details on the pyramid and stuff like that. But for now, we'll just stick to the gear. So I'm gonna make a second gear, or a third gear actually in this case. Make it a bit shorter, so we can make it at like a 10. So it looks just a bit taller than this one. Gotta adjust this so we can make it 13 per each. And then we can do the same thing that we just did before. So we drag a cylinder, or you can highlight this, duplicate it, move this out so we don't have to adjust the height of it, and then you can just shrink it to whatever you like. So I believe it was 3 by, this one I want to make it like really short. Let's just make it like 3 by 5. And then you can just put this through here. So you could technically customize any type of gear that you want. I think now would be a good time to turn on snap grid, so then it's a bit more perfect. So we can go like that. I made mine quite thin, and that's to my design, I guess. And then Control D to duplicate that, and then drag it to this side. Shift click both of them. Control D, and then use the side arrow here to adjust to whatever you want. This time I'm gonna adjust it to just so that it's just barely touching. Just so that it's barely touching. So like right there, and then just keep on pressing Control D. There you go. So be your gear, and then just like that. Make sure we don't highlight any of these two. If you accidentally highlight something, you can just do Control click, and they should be able to unhighlight them. Press Control G, or just press this button up here. That should be your other gear. Do this, group them together, and now they're a group. So the thing about groups is that they're really useful in a way that now that if you move, you don't. Let's just say if you're trying to make this like a part of like a, say if you're trying to make a part of a robot, and these 3 gears were here. You don't want to accidentally move one, and then you have to move them accordingly. So like you would have to manually adjust them. But then with the group function, you can just With the group function, it makes it so like they're like one object, so that now they move wherever they want. When you want to resize them, they move accordingly. Also, grouping is really useful when you're trying to make holes in something. So what I mean by holes is that say if I want to make an outline of the gear, so we would have to ungroup this, take out one specific gear, duplicate it, make this one specific gear a bit smaller, so let's say like 16 by 16, and then click on that gear, make it a hole, as you can see up here, and make it a hole, and then we can like that. Of course, this isn't perfect, but actually, I think all we need to do is just rotate it by a bit, and now it should be able to fit like that. And then when you group this, it will make sure like the hole actually registers. So now it looks like this, something like this. And then you just one from here, group them together. And if you wanted to see, if you didn't want the hole, let's just say if you did it accidentally, you can select this. As you can see, this is a whole group and not just individual pieces of a gear. You can select this. Tinkercad will automatically remember what it used to be, and then you can press ungroup, and then now you have your little thing. So now you have your whole and your original gear back. So now that we're done about gears, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.